time to clean. Hi everybody, welcome back. I know it's been a long time, but it's very good to see you all again. I wanted to apologize for the long time between videos. It has been the kind of couple of months where I really wouldn't mind having 2020 back. It's been rough, but to a few of my friends that know what's going on, I appreciate the well wishes. Things are definitely better now, and my need to get back to this project has become insatiable. So I decided I wanted to finish it up. And let's get it done and move on to the next one. The video footage you're going to see in this video kind of goes back and forth. You'll see my proper intro in a moment here, but I wanted to just give you a heads up. It goes back and forth a little bit because a lot of this was filmed quite a while ago, some of it a little bit ago, and then I'm going to try and finish up in the next few days with this project. There's even some stuff I've undone so that I can redo it because some of the footage was just lost. So enjoy. I hope everybody gets something out of the last couple of these vids. We're still deciding what to do with the front of this, but we'll get to all of that later. So it's good to see you all again. Do you think if I drink some of this on air that they'll send me some? Because nobody knows who I am and nobody sends me squat. But it's good to see you all again. So let's get started. Welcome to McPinball, everybody. I am the infamous Mike. It's good to have you back. This will be part 4 of our series on travel time. Today we have a lot going on. It's probably going to take me a couple days to film this, but that's all right. And it could easily fill a couple of hours with everything we're going to do today, but I promise you I will use magic to make it not quite so boring for you. What we're going to do today, well, at least what I would like to try and accomplish in this video is we're going to strip that thing down. We're going to clean off the playfield. Well, we're going to strip it, take everything off, and then I'm going to show you my methods for cleaning not only all of the gunk that's on there, but the gunk that's on the playfield as well. So we'll clean up all of the stuff that's on the playfield and then the playfield surface itself. I'll show you my methods for that and what I feel is best. And of course, with this, that's a very touchy subject because there are more schools of thought on cleaning a playfield than there are playfields, in my opinion. Very heated discussions come up about this. So I'm just going to show you what works best for me and some of the other methods that I've used in the past, but we'll stick with my current one for this because I think it's a good candidate for it. So we're going to go over here now and do some shots and see what everything looks like, so that when it's done, you can awe in wonder at my skill. Let's do it. Okay, so here we are. Let's give it a really good look. And you can see it's kind of dirty. It's got a lot of crap on there. And it's not horrible. I've seen a lot worse, but we're going to go through and get everything nice and cleaned up. And for today, we're going to just strip everything down and then clean the playfield. But I've got my surface over here ready. Let's get everything set up and we'll go for it. So this is going to take me a little bit of time. Normally, my grand vision for an entertaining video would be, I'm going to play it all in fast forward and you can watch me take everything and put it over there, but then it hit me, why do you want to watch that? If you do look at another video, it would bore the hell out of me. So, let's use some magic. Abracafreakedabra. Isn't that so much easier? It's all in the, now it's just magic. I don't have to actually do any of it. No, so I got everything taken off. Stripped down and everything. I didn't do the targets because I'm not going to go through and desolder and unwire all of that stuff. This is good enough for what we're going to do. But let me give you a quick look through on everything now. See where we're at. Ew. It's not pretty, is it? There's a lot of crap and gunk and mess here. But it's all right. And then I've got everything set nicely over there. First thing that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take all of the posts and I'm going to set them in a mean green bath. And then I'm going to go have some chocolate milk and call it a day. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Should I give it another snap? No, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, everybody. For you, it hasn't been any time. For me, it's been a few days that I haven't been able to get back to this, but I wanted to talk to you about cleaning playfields. As I've said before, there are more schools of thought on playfield cleaning than there are stars in the sky. And everybody's is correct for a purpose, except for a few. There are some that are very wrong, and we'll talk about them. But there's some very common ones that people use, and I'm all for them. A lot of people will use this alcohol. That's great. It does a good job if you are using 90% or better, because the big thing is that water shouldn't interact with a playfield. Water and wood don't get on well. What's going to happen is if you use water-based stuff with cleaning a playfield, the water will seep into the wood and expand the grain, and the grain will rise up. And then it will shrink back down again after it dries, but then you end up with these unsightly lines in your playfield. And it's a pain, and it's near impossible to fix after that. So please avoid using water. Don't use like 50% alcohol, or don't use even 70. Try and use 90, which I've got around here. But use 90% or better if you're going to use alcohol. A lot of people, and this is one of my more preferred, is Novus. By the way, small note: if you're going to order stuff on Amazon, please check, the size of your product. I ordered the slightly smaller ones, but usually when I get Novus, so if you guys can't find this anywhere, you can order it online or go to your local Harley Davidson shop. They'll have all three of the Novuses, and they'll come in the big bottles, and it's like $5-6 a bottle. So definitely worth it. The other thing that a lot of people do is alcohol and melamine foam. Now this works, but there is a risk. Melamine foam, or magic eraser, or whatever you want to call it, the white foam stuff, it works very, very well, and it's great for taking out ball tracks, and it's great for taking out imperfections and really grimy crap that's gotten down into the paint. But you run a risk when you're using eraser and alcohol, or eraser and other stuff. You're going to take off your finish. Now, if you're planning on recoating the playfield, so what? You're recoating the playfield. But there's some steps to that we're going to talk about later. I'm not going to be coating this playfield, but there's some stuff I want to talk about just to help you avoid some issues. So magic eraser and alcohol will do an amazing job, but you're going to take off your finish, and you run the risk, if you really go at it, you're going to take paint. You will take paint off the playfield, so you have to be very careful. Magic eraser and Novus, same thing. It does an amazing job, but you have to be careful because you will take your finish. That's gone. But you're also running the risk of taking paint if you're a little too heavy-handed. So same thing with the alcohol. If you're using alcohol and melamine foam, you need to be careful. You don't want to run that risk. There are some people who feel that don't. You're going to eat your playfield if you use that. There are even some people who will use my beloved mean green on a playfield. Please don't do that. There's only been very extreme circumstances where I've ever even tried to use it, and I've regretted it almost every time. So then, Mike, what's the ideal solution? What's best? There isn't really a best. A lot of people will actually use this, mill wax. I will only use this on newer playfields. I don't like using this on EM playfields because it's nasty. It smells like hell on earth, and it can be bad. So I would avoid that on EM playfields. Now, thanks to Rob Burke, who is a font of information, he has suggested this. This is waterless hand cleaner. Now, why this? Because this is not water-based. There's no water in it. It's oil-based. So you're not going to have anything seeping down into the wood. And this stuff is designed to take crap and grease and dirt and grime off of things. It's what it's for. There's a few different brands. Purple Power has a little bit of water in it, so I kind of avoid that. Gojo, very good stuff. That's kind of my go-to, and a big tub of it's only like $5 at Walmart, so why not? And a tub of it's going to last you forever. So that's kind of what that's what I like to use on this table. What we're going to use is the waterless hand cleaner. So I want to show you what it can do. Now, the thing you need to know about this is, like Novus, it is a little abrasive, so you need to be careful. You need to kind of watch what you're doing, because there is always a risk in everything that you want to do to clean a playfield, because essentially you're taking stuff off, and if you're too heavy-handed, you'll take more than you want to off. But what I want to do is not show you every method, but I do want to minimize the risk. So this is my suggestion. This is what we're going to use for this. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then let's see how it comes out.
Many months later.
Since our last visit, I wanted to show you, since I didn't get a chance, the cleaning turned out quite well as compared to where it was. So, yeah, time to finish some touch-ups. You see, I've started some undercoat of some paint, but we'll discuss that in a moment here. Okay, so painting. I wanted to run with you quickly through a few of the steps that I take when I'm getting ready to paint, and how I prep to do all of that. I've done a lot of it already, but I wanted to show you kind of how I prep and get ready. As you can see there, I've got rather a significant shelf of the acrylic paints. I use those just because they're cheap, and there's so many colors that I don't have to do a lot of mixing and matching. Now, some of you have seen this in an old video, but on all of those, or on almost all of those bottles, they have numbers on the bottom, like Y1, Y2, Y3, R1, R2, R3. It's red, 1, 2, 3, yellow, 1, 2, 3. Because when I take notes, I don't want to be like, part of, 61482, lemon, yellow, sunburst. No, Y1, Y2, Y3. Easy enough. So what I do is I have a handful of these that I've made. And what I can do is, this is just a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 into a full sheet of laminate. And so what I can do is I can take all of the colors that I think are going to match, all of the colors I need, I take and I do Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5 on the sides, and then R1, R2, W1, W2, and so on for whichever ones I need. And let them dry, just kind of air them out a little bit, let them dry for a few minutes, then I can hold them down over top of the area that needs to be touched up. And I can see which one is closest, and I can just wipe off the others, and I now know that Y7 is the correct color, at least the closest. Many of the touch-ups on this are so small, it's not going to matter too much anyway, but I do want to get it as close as possible. And if mixing needs to happen, then I'll just do a little bit of it. But that's kind of how I do that. So what we're going to do is going to take you over there and take you through some of the touch-ups that have been done, that I am doing, still finishing up a few of them. The other tip I want to give you is always get nice brushes. Don't use the cheapos. It's worth a few extra dollars. And then always clean your brushes when you're done. Don't let them sit out. Now, for very minor touch-up spots, I do have a brush that my wife does not care for, but it works very well for me. If you're just doing tiny little spots, these are perfect. Yep, that's a toothpick. And you can just take your color off your palette, just tiny little dots or tiny little spots, and that will work great. It's especially good when you're touching up lettering. And then we'll go over how to protect all of your work in a few minutes when we're done with all of this. So let's go see things. Okay, so first thing I've tried to do here is to go through and find a white that's as close to the major of the white as possible, and I go through any spots like here that and up here that was missing paint all the way down to the wood, even under colors where it's missing all the way down to the wood, because they put a thin layer of white underneath it anyway, and it makes the colors pop. If you try and put color down on just to bare wood, it's not going to come out quite the same. So that's the first step you're going to want to do, and then we just go through, get our colors matched as closely as we can with how we talked about it earlier, and then go through and try and get to go as close as possible. Make sure you've got a nice fine brush to work on some of these areas. And then once we got the base of that done and got things kind of sort of where we need to, then we'll go through and do the little fine touch-ups where we need to. Some rough spots on here, but we'll get it as close as we can. So I'm going to do some time lapse over the next little bit, and you can watch me go ahead and do these. Okay, so it is by no means perfect, but compared to before, I'm pretty pleased. Yeah, we're going to do some component cleaning and start reassembly. Rock and roll. Okay, so we have finished up the touch-up paint, and I have gone ahead and done the protection on it. To do that, there's a couple of different methods that I'll use. If it's just been a couple of light touch-ups, I will on occasion just use a very light of a clear on just the areas, that's it. If it's really small detail stuff like some of the stuff I've done, some really liquid super glue over the top, then after that's dried, you hit the top of that with a little wet dry sandpaper to kind of even it out. It's looking really nice, I think, so hopefully Larry likes it. But in the last video, what we're going to do, or in the next video, probably not the last one, in between this and that, I'm going to finish reassembling the table, double check, make sure everything is still working, a couple of last little bits of cleanup, and then we will tackle the cabinet, and we'll see how that goes. Leave any comments or anything that you'd like to see done more on that, or any questions or anything like that. Go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.